Look, obviously, a crazy game in a lot of ways. Man, it was good for us to come out of there with a win. This is one of those games, if you just looked at the stat line, you would see Minnesota did a number of things better than us. And we really struggled offensively, I thought, on third down. When you have those numbers on third down, you're not going to have the rushing attempts or the rushing yards. So, all of a sudden it's halftime because you're not having the snaps. So our third down numbers were poor, but the one thing we did, we took the ball away 3 times and we didn't turn it over. So that kind of becomes a little bit of the trump card in a game like this. Give credit to those guys, though. They had a good plan coming in, and we were fortunate to win. I'm proud of our fight. There's still obviously a lot we have to clean up, but the turnovers and the takeaways can kind of do that for you when you're not playing just how you want to. Defensively, I thought we, early on they were running the ball with some success, but the way we played towards the end was significant. It was a gutsy call by them on the fake punt, in their own end, and again, it's a good win. Questions?
Yeah, Sean, your takeaway run here the last 3 games is really remarkable.
I think the last 4.
4?
If you look at the last 4 games. But anyway.
But, I mean, did you guys at some point in the season prioritize it, work on it, drill it more than you had before?
Well,
some people think it's luck turnovers, but it
happened
too many times.
I don't think so. I think it's something that I think it's something these guys really buy into and they understand. It's the number one thing in this league, and it's easy to talk about. But last week, McMillan has 2 tonight. He has the Calls fumble last week on the first play of the game, and then it becomes a little bit contagious. And so us protecting the football. Look, it was a big reason why we won last Monday night. That number was, I think, 4-1. If it hadn't been tonight, 3, then obviously that result would have been different.
You struggled for so much of the night to get in rhythm offensively. What does it just say about not only Russell but your group then to put it back together?
Listen, that was huge. We did some silly things. We got a quarterback sneak. We're in the wrong formation. It's an easy call, and we go from converting a short yardage play to being backed up. And but look, it was a gutsy drive, and fortunately we had our timeouts. We had the one challenge, but even though they converted, we got that timeout back. It was a good 2-minute drive now. It was a good drive, and he got a lot of different looks. When he got coverage, he found the running backs again, much like last week, a little bit longer drive, and then we got blitzed. There's a lot that they do defensively. But it was good, obviously, to come out with a win.
Coach, to your left, Cortland Sutton, he had the one-handed catch there on 4th down. He had the deep one earlier, then obviously went up and got the touchdown. Can you just speak to the level he's playing at?
Yeah, he's playing outstanding. He's got 8 red zone touchdowns now. So you have strong hands in traffic. There's obviously a confidence level, between he and Russ. And then when we start putting plays in and trying to put maybe progressions together. But he's a big target. He's a great teammate. This guy's something, and you guys have covered him a lot longer or know him a lot longer than I have. But he's doing a really good job for us.
Coach really struggled in the early part of the game to convert in the red zone, had to settle for field goals. What was it, and then how big was it at the end?
Again, you're going to look at those third down numbers, and when you have a game where I don't know how many total offensive plays we had, but if you're 2 of 11, I think that was what we were, then you're not going to be in the 70s or 80s. So time of possession, all those things become byproducts. Those are all technically like turnover downs. You're punting. So we got to get that cleaned up, and we got to be better on third down. Obviously, we're going to have to be better, play better, because we're going to play in bigger games against opponents that will be progressively tougher and tougher.
Sean, can you just kind of elaborate on your defense from where they were when you think about a 70-20 loss at Miami to the
Yeah.
games they've thrown out here the last, month and a half?
Listen, they've been, to their credit, we with each win you gain more confidence, and so, that seems like a long time ago. Fortunately, guys have bowed up, rolled up their sleeves, and went to work, and that's all you can do in this league. You find out a lot about people, and I feel like we, organizationally and as a staff and as a team, you get to see the grit. I kept talking about that groove in a rut. There's such a fine line, but I'm proud of the fight and the way these guys have prepared.
Coach, would you say then that you guys are in a groove? And what's your concern level about, it's amazing the giveaway takeaway, but how sustainable do you think it actually is for the rest of the year?
Well, it's always sustainable. Like, finish the season and you look at teams, I've been a part of teams in the 30s, but my point is, it's not a matter of whether it's sustainable or not. Whether you get 3 in one game or not, it can vary. But we do have to pay attention to the film, and as coaches, hey, how would we play this game again, and then clean that up. We kind of go from there.
You agree?
Well, you were the one that said it. So you're asking me 4 wins in a row? Yeah, I think we got some momentum going. I don't know if I'm ready to groove yet.
When you go from 1-5 to 5-5, how do you keep that locker room engaged?
Look, several times, there were 2 different times we were 0-4 in New Orleans and then got back to 4-4. Now, when that happens, there's a certain amount of energy required to get you back. And then naturally, all of us, want to exhale, and we can't. So when you've been to one of those places that all of us, had an experience that we don't want to ever have that again, whatever it is. That's kind of how we approached it last night. We don't want to find ourselves there again. And now in this league, that's easier said than done. And so the key is, like, this isn't the team. This isn't this isn't it. There's still, like, this team has still got to improve. And that's how we got to coach, and that's how we got to practice. And I think we'll do that.
To your right, John. Just curious, you don't have a player in this locker room that has played in a playoff game for this team. What can a 4-game streak mean to them?
Yeah, we're talking about.
We're not talking about the playoffs.
Yeah, listen, we say it all the time. How do you have confidence? You do something. All of us can. You guys become more confident when all of a sudden you put together a few good pieces of media. You gain confidence, and it has to be gained through demonstrated ability. And so it's nice to feel that in this locker room right now. It's nice to feel that that momentum, and there's nothing like it. There's nothing like winning. You hear the music, and it's hard to explain. And then there's a part of it is, and I'm going to say this, after you've done it a while, there's an element of relief that you don't have to deal with, like, misery for a week, if that makes sense. So it's like one extreme to the other, but I'm happy for these guys. That's the thing. I'm happy for these players, and I'm happy to see these guys, sharing in this success. And man, they had a tough season a year ago, and many of these players, you alluded to it, have had a handful of tough seasons. And so, I want them to win.
Coach, we've asked you about the finish by the offense, but the defense still had to make a stand with 63 seconds left.
Yeah, listen,
what did it
I was there.
What did it say about that group to finish the way they did?
I was there. I'll say this, I told you guys early in the week about Josh Dobbs, and obviously I was somewhat wrong on my report. I remember him coming out, and I told you about the meeting I had with he and Alvin, watching film together. Man, he's a lot slipperier than I ever. He was tough to get down, and he's taller. I I turned to Lombardi in pregame. I said, God, I didn't remember Dobbs being 6'3". You know, it just, you know, he's really considering what he's been through, where the year began. He was answering questions with Cleveland, and then it was Arizona, and what he's doing now. And you know, every once in a while, like he's healing someone to come across in motion, and that person's over here, and he's like, "Oh, all right, come on." And yet, there's so much that goes into playing that position, and to see the poise he's played with is really remarkable. I haven't seen anything like it really, and I didn't realize, you know, how well he could move in the pocket, and we all kind of lived it in that last 2-minute drive. I mean, it was just one escape after the other, and finally we got off the field. All right, thank you, all of you.